What's up, guys? Welcome back to Sharp Moves. Welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the 2022 Camry SE. This one is all-wheel drive, comes in under $30,000. Pretty practical car. You know, I've been driving it for a couple days. Pretty comfortable. You know, it's got some decent technology in it. So today we're going to kind of explore around a little bit, the outside, the interior, take it for a little drive, and see. You know, is this the car to buy in 2022? You know, given the high prices of the market and stuff like that, is this a good entry point? Good mass market car for a family with a couple kids? Is it a good buy or not? All right, let's take a look. All right, so let's just get a quick little look around here. If you've watched the channel, followed the channel for any period of time, you'd know that I do like the Toyota brand. You know, obviously I'm a little more into luxury, but I appreciate the Toyota brand. You know, and all the sort of the different vehicles that it has to offer. You know, the Toyota 4Runner is I'm a big fan of. Really like what they're doing with the Supra. Drove the RAV4 the other day, really liked that one. I just think, you know, for a mass market car that's not extremely overpriced in this day and age, you know, I think that you know, they really are spitting out some good products, right? So just doing a little walk around here. Again, nice big logo, Camry, you know, that's the all new sort of, you know, way of you know, them sort of, you know, promoting their company. I think nowadays, you know, everyone's kind of like, the lettering on every vehicle is just getting bigger and bigger. The grills are getting bigger. Everything's getting bigger and bigger and more sort of in your face. So kind of cool. So coming around, this one's finished in just sort of plain black, but I wish I could give it to you out in the sun, because if you can kind of see that, you can probably get that. It does have some nice purple sort of fleck or blue fleck through it. Really sort of nice. You know, if you catch it in the light, if you catch it at the right angle, really does look nice. So pretty decent. Really like the rims here. You got your standard calipers, but the wheel design is really cool. So just coming around here, right? Nothing very functional here. Everything is just for styling. Sorry about the lighting, but looks kind of cool, right? You know, it's got a pretty menacing sort of front grille. Put the lights on because we're in an underground car garage because it's so windy out today. Just wanted to get a little bit better sound quality and stuff like that. So lights here, again, pretty standard. You know, these are the high beams that are on right now, but pretty decent, right? So this car, again, comes in, this is the all-wheel drive model, so it comes in about 28 grand after options. This one's leathered out, which you'll see once we get inside. MPG is 28 on the city, 39 highway. This thing does about 0 to 60 in about 7.2 seconds. It's got 203 horsepower, coming in at about 6,600 RPMs. You know, it's powered by a 8-speed automatic, right? It's got a 2.5 liter 4-cylinder again, so we're not talking huge, so V6 or 8 cylinders, but I think that's why the price is able to stay a little bit lower, right? Curb weight being 3,340 pounds. Okay, and when you drive it, actually, it felt very, I don't want to say heavy, it felt like sturdy, you know what I mean? Like, it felt like there was something there. I drive a lot of smaller cars, and I'm like, God, this feels so flimsy over the bumps. This one, it was a healthy sort of weight, where when you go over bumps, it rides over them, kind of like a, you know, I wouldn't go as far as to say like Rolls-Royce Magic Carpet, but definitely comfortable over the bumps. So pretty cool. Warranty on these things is 3 years, 36,000 mile basic, or 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain. So, I mean, pretty standard sort of warranty. You know, I know Kia offers some crazy 100,000 mile warranties, which is probably the top in the market, but this is fairly decent. All right, so open her up, hoping that the lighting is half decent. Coming in here, all right, so you get the nice logo. I do like the Toyota logo. I like how big it is. Steering wheel looks pretty decent. You got all your controls here. You know, the tachometer, the speedometer, all that stuff, mile, fuel gauge, everything in these type of cars, you know, 30,000, 40,000, 25,000, 20,000, it's all pretty standard procedure, right? There's nothing, you know, standing out at you where you're like, whoa, this, like, it's just gonna kind of give you what you need, right? And nothing more, which is cool, which I'm okay with. So, I mean, just taking a look here, we're not start stop, we're manual key. Right, I've got it in there. I'll take it out in a second. One thing that I really hate if you watch my channel is, first of all, is piano black. So take a look at that. Let's get a little closer here. Look at the dust already that's built up. Look at that. Not great at all. Not great. That gets really dirty really quickly, almost always dirty. So I'm not a big fan of that. And then this display, I've seen it in so many of the Toyota brands, the RAV4. It just looks ugly. It's aftermarket, it looks flimsy. Not a big fan of that. But in terms of like navigating through it and stuff like that, it kind of does what you need it to do. Again, it's, you know, it's not standout, it's not unbelievable, it's, you know, it's ticking the box, it's usable, it's practical. Again, looking at the controls here, you know, I do like the haptic feedback that you sort of get when you push it. You know, everything is, you know, I think a lot of you know, car companies now have gone to like actual screens where you touch it or you're sliding things up. I kind of like just a manual sort of button where you're actually touching it and you know that you've touched it. You know it's doing what you need to do because you've actually pushed it in, pushed it out. You get that feedback. So big fan of that stuff. And then just looking through the interior again, hopefully the lighting is decent. You know, these are what we call sort of, you know, cheaped out leather seats. They're sort of almost half leather. I was in a Porsche Macan yesterday and the leather was so plush, so soft. This is a little hard, a little bit more, a little harder, a little cheaper. It almost makes you feel like it's pleather, like fake pleather. But I mean, to the look, they look fairly sporty. They're kind of cool, right? You know, we're in a cheaper sort of price point, but you know, you can tell that Toyota is trying to fancy it up, trying to make it look cool, all things considered, right? So looking okay. You got 3 modes. You got your eco mode here. Let's just try and fix it. Or focus, excuse me. Eco mode, if you're really trying to save gas, if you're really, you know, dime pinching. I would never drive it in that mode ever, as long as I ever owned this car or ever lived. Normal mode, if you're just sort of whatever. I think that's what we started in. And then the sport mode kind of opens up your exhaust a little bit. But again, we're talking, you know, we're talking very low performance numbers here. So, you know, I would probably just drive it in this one or sport mode, just to get a little bit more quicker, you know, throttle response, quicker shifts. But it's not mind-blowingly different. And you get all your little things. Let's see if we can focus here. Yeah, your USB, your 12 volt, pretty standard here. 2 nice cup holders, good size, right? This is the stuff you expect to be in this car. All right, open it up. Big storage area inside here. All right, let's see if we can focus again. Sorry again about the light, you guys. You got your USBs in there, 2 USB ports. All right, pretty standard, pretty good. Taking a look at the top here, garage door opener. You got your lights. All right, boom, good. Boom, hello. All right, Does everything you need it to do. Let's take a look at the spaciousness of the back seat. All right, back seat. This was a mid-size sedan, so you're getting quite a bit of space back here. These seats obviously right now are all the way back, right? So it doesn't look like it's that spacious. Let's come around here and just push it all the way forward. Here's your controls, going forward, going forward, going forward, going forward. Right, goes all the way up. That's probably doable for me. I'm 6 feet. I wouldn't go any farther than that up. And there's quite a bit of leg room in here. Let's just get in here, sit down, right? Sit down, and pretty comfortable sitting in here, right? My head here clears no problem. I'm 6 feet. I've got tons of space back here. You know, got a bunch of space beside me where I can put some stuff. Cup holders all can come down, right? Like that beside me. Got a couple of cup holders here, right? And then someone else could sit comfortably as well, right? So pretty decent. Got a good view of the sort of driver and passenger seat. Yeah, and tons of headroom here. I would like this one to have a sunroof. I think that's something that should be optioned out in this because it brings a lot more natural light into the cockpit. But c'est la vie. Can't have everything. Moving on. All right. So one of the cool things this Camry offers is a huge trunk. Like just look at the size of that. You could probably get 3 golf clubs, 3 sets of golf clubs in there. Nice little Camry logo. Excuse me how dirty it is. I apologize for that. A couple little things here, a little lock box and stuff like that. So I just picked up the car, leave that there, right? But very sort of spacious, right? Really like that. The loading capacity is not too high up off the ground, right? So if your wife came, she wanted to throw some groceries in there, you're not dealing with anything too crazy. Nothing remote up here, it's all manual, but again, lots of space, right? Lots of space. That's what people are after in this sort of thing. I just noticed a couple nice lights there for at night, so the cops can really read your license plate when you're speeding. Pretty cool. You got your dual exhaust on one side, and you got nothing on the other side. I think if we got into the higher level model, I think I've seen some. I think there's a TRD model, which is upwards of $60,000, $70,000. Has quad exhaust, a lot more horsepower. Let's take a look at what's powering this bad boy. This is a little bit sort of ghetto. There's no hydraulics or anything like that, but again, comes with the price. That's fine. If you can skimp out there on that and save a bunch of money, then why not, right? How often are you coming into your engine bay? So everything's pretty standard in here, right? Pretty small engine, doing what it needs to do. All right, pretty cool. Not a whole lot to see. I'll shut her down. All right, here we are in the Camry. All right, and actually I'm glad that I'm driving this car through the city streets, because I actually, you know, normally when I'm driving through the city streets are so gnarly through here. Like the roads, there's so much construction going on. This car rides over the bumps. This is one thing I noticed really right away, and that really kind of got me, is it rides over the bumps really nicely. It feels very comfortable over the bumps. Most cars, I guess little cars, you know, are so hard over the bumps, or when you're in Sport Plus and all these gnarly modes, you feel a real rough drive. This one feels really comfortable over the bumps, so big plus there. Seats feel pretty comfortable as well, right? I know they're not super high end, but you know, they kind of bolster me just enough on either side. You know, they're not too harsh. They're comfortable, so I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I like the big chunky steering wheel in front of me. Like the car. If I get a little space, I like to give it a little something. As I said before, I'm really kind of impressed with Toyota, the Toyota brand in the last little while. They're really coming along. I mean, you look everywhere on the road and there's Toyotas everywhere now. So it's a brand that's really selling a lot of cars, and it's very reputable sort of brand. So yeah, I'm pretty impressed with it. I like what I'm seeing from them. Drove the Supra, really liked that one. Want to get in a 4Runner. I've never driven one of those. Drove the RAV4, really good car. Now I'm in the Camry and enjoying it. So let's see if we got a little bit of pickup on this thing. Yeah, not the greatest. I mean, we're catching a left here. Okay, we're good, and we're on the highway here. Let's see what kind of pickup it has. Ooh, it's a real small engine. Okay, so we don't have a ton of power. We don't have a ton of power going on here. And it's a pretty heavy car, but again, we're not looking for performance with this vehicle. We're looking for comfortability and you know, a little bit of technology and you know, a car that kind of gets you from point A to point B, you know, has luggage storage capacity, you know, for under 30,000 bucks, you know, and this definitely does that. This is actually a real good car for that price. When I first got into this car, I was like, whoa, this is probably like a $40,000 car. This one's priced at 28 grand, right? It's got leather, it's, you know, I guess it could have a few more things, you know, lane keep assist, stuff like that. But it's priced pretty reasonable, all things considered here, pretty reasonable. I'm impressed. As we pass a RAV4 over there, keep left. Pretty good. All right, steering feels fairly tight, right? Fairly responsive. I can feel the road, right? I don't get any crazy sort of like, you know, off sort of feelings about it. I kind of like it. It feels tight. It feels controlled. It's doing what I need it to do. I'm getting good feedback. I don't, you know, the car's 3,500 pounds. As I said before, it feels heavy, but in a good way. It feels heavy, like it's like it's substantial, like it's like, you know, you're riding over bumps. It's composed. It doesn't feel real bulky in terms of like, you know, get up and go. It's got enough. You know, I know that some people might think that it's really down on horsepower, but it does have enough. If you're in this car, I don't think that you're really looking for crazy horsepower, torque, like crazy specs. This, you know, if you can kind of just you know, go about your day and stuff like that, this does what you need it to do. It's certainly no X7 M50 in front of us. That thing will freaking go all day, but it certainly has a little bit of oomph. But I'm really enjoying the experience in this thing. It's pretty solid car, pretty good. Obviously, the all-wheel drive system is gonna, you know, it's gonna serve you really well in the winter time as well. So I think that's a, you know, about $4 grand, $3-4 grand addition or option. I would certainly go with that car if you're living in the Northeast, if you live in Philly, if you live in Canada, anywhere. I would certainly go with it. So just merging onto the highway here, trying to put my foot down. You know, it does a fine job. It's obviously not you know, it's not the fastest thing going, but it, you know, has no problems on the highway. You kind of have to get into her a little bit, you know, if you want to, you know, if you want to just float in the fast lane. But yeah, it does what you need to do. It gets up to speed on the freeway. So I'm coming up to this kind of hard turn here on the freeway that I always gauge the turning radius or the handling by this one sort of turn here. So let's kind of go into it here, give it a little speed, go into it. Let's see how she does. Okay, not bad. A little bit of body roll. She's a bit heavy, but I mean, pretty composed, right? Pretty composed. Again, I think the biggest feature that I love about this car is the ability to ride over bumps. It's very comfortable over bumps, and you know, I guess I credit that to the suspension system. You know, it's got some, you know, pretty big gnarly tires on it. And I guess it's just the size of it, but it's very comfortable. You can drive in sport mode if you want. Okay, so let's just knock her into while I drive. I don't want to kill myself. Knock her into sport mode, and it's got paddle shifters here as well. I don't know if you can see those paddles. So we can drive it on the paddles. It's going to be kind of difficult to do it with one hand, but you have that option as well. If you want to be in kind of like the sportiest setting of this car, you have the ability to do that, which is kind of cool. So yeah, just kind of, you know, being in the car right now, pretty comfortable. You know, there's not a ton of sound as well. It's like pretty, you know, it's pretty refined, right? You know, I feel, you know, I got my headrest right there. You know, the seating position is pretty upright. A lot of space for a tall person if they want it. I think that's a really good point actually to mention, is the car has a lot of ability to go way back. So if you're a tall gentleman or gentlewoman and you need a lot of space, this car has the ability. Let's see what its ability to go around this car is. Going around a small car easy, and we passed it in like 10 seconds. So pretty decent. Let's test out the brakes here, getting up hard. And good, yeah, it's a new car, so the brakes have quite a lot of bite. It's good. Yeah, like it. Kind of does what you need to do, right? You can get into the car, you can get into the speeds, and you can brake it pretty quickly. Another thing that I do like quite a bit about this car, as I'm about to get cut off by a big huge truck, is the spaciousness of the car, right? If I look beside me here, I've got lots and lots of room in the cockpit for me and a passenger, and then tons of space in the back as well, right? So again, like for a taller person, this is a great option. Like take a look how much room there is, how much in the footwell, how much head space there is. This is a great car for someone who's a little bit on the taller side. Really recommend it for someone who's a bit taller, or a bit you know, heavier, you know, just a bit taller, a bit wider. We'll go with that. So in front of us, we're looking at the XLE Camry. Let's see if I can zoom in a little bit. I can hardly get in there, but it has quad exhaust. It's got a little bit of blacked out trim. It looks really nice. Let's see if we can get up behind it. I like it a lot. It looks good. So if you're looking for a little bit more performance than this base sort of model, this one really looks good. I think he's wondering why I'm filming him, but nice red paint on it as well. Pretty cool. They also make a TRD, which is I think the high performance one. It looks awesome. It's got a blacked out sunroof. It's got a wing on the back of it. It's pretty cool. I mean, Camry's come a long way. I think a lot of people are buying this car now and really enjoying it. I think this particular model has a lot to offer for you know, for the price point. It's a pretty good package. So just coming around here beside him. Hopefully he doesn't look at me like I'm some freaking whack job. 2022 Camry SE, all the power, all the comfort, all the practicality that anyone needs, and under 30 grand, that's a buy for me. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit subscribe, like, share, all that jazz, and I'll see you in the next one.